Captain Parker, thank you. We're going to be telling your story today.
Hi, I'm author Richard Vadum, and you're watching Ghost of Somerville.
So hi everybody, this is a special nighttime edition of Ghosts of Somerville TV. This is Haunted Libraries Part 2. If you haven't seen Part 1, we encourage you to do that. In it, we visit the Raritan Library in Raritan, New Jersey, and that's located really right next to Somerville. And that library is inside of a house built in 1750. So we're talking extremely old. In fact, one of our viewers even asked, is it the oldest library in the country? And with a little bit of research was able to determine that indeed it was among the oldest in the country. So pretty fascinating. And inside we were able to visit and see some amazing World War II memorabilia and to investigate a little bit and have some activity and also learn about the paranormal activity. There have been investigative groups that went there. And there was some interesting activity, especially in the oldest part of the building. So that was fascinating, and I hope you enjoy it. But we thought to ourselves, well, are there other libraries in the area that we should explore? And we weren't sure, really, until we discovered the Bernardsville Library. Now, Bernardsville is in Somerset County as well. It's about 12 to 15 minutes from Somerville. And once we started to look into the story of the library, the original library, and some of the paranormal claims, it was like a rabbit hole that we went down. So, I mean, we started out with, simply an old building, again, built before the Revolutionary War, which is always fascinating. And we ended up with a grieving ghost and a British spy and the Continental Army living in it as a house. It was a tavern. And then we ended up in a cemetery in search of a tombstone and a grave of the original owner of the library. So it was quite the adventure that we didn't expect and quite the ghost story that we didn't expect. So we really hope you enjoy that. And we're also going to talk today about the Somerville Library, all the buildings it's been in over the years, and show you some beautiful photos and talk a little bit about those stories as well.
This week's investigation was more of an adventure than a ghost hunt. It was like we were traveling through history.
Hi, I'm standing here next to the John Parker Tavern. It was originally known as the Vealtown Tavern. Fun fact, Bernardsville, New Jersey was originally known as Vealtown. This house housed the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War, and it was later sold as a private residence in 1840. In 1903, it became the Bernardsville Public Library until very recently in 1999 when the library was moved to a new location, which we just realized is right there. Not too far.
The old tavern holds several different businesses now, but still has the plaque outside that says it is a part of the National Register of Historic Places. So cool. Picture this. January 1777. The Vealtown Tavern, owned by Captain John Parker, is hosting some of General Washington's army. His daughter, Phyllis, just 16, and the young man courting her, Dr. Byram, sit cozy by the fire, talking amongst themselves. One of the soldiers, General Anthony Wayne, has some important papers on him that carry information about the movement of Washington's troops. Dr. Byram notices the soldiers and suddenly falls ill, retiring for the evening. The soldiers continue to drink and make merry before retiring sometime later. In the morning, Dr. Byram is gone. Well, this is not unusual, as he is a physician. Perhaps he was called away. General Wayne, however, is missing his papers and states that there must be a spy among them. Given his absence, suspicions quickly fall on Dr. Byram. Captain Parker produces a picture of Dr. Byram, which General Wayne recognizes as the notorious Tory spy, Aaron Wilde. A manhunt ensued until Wilde was found at Widow White's tavern. The soldiers waited for Wilde, observing him until he left, then following him until he was captured about a mile east of the Vealtown Tavern. Unfortunately for Wilde, he was found with the incriminating papers and sentenced to death by hanging. Wilde begged to write a letter to Captain Parker asking for a proper burial, and then his sentence was carried out. Upon discovering what had happened, Captain Parker kept this news from Phyllis. He had the body cut down and put into a wooden coffin that was moved to the tavern's tap room that evening. Captain Parker told Phyllis that the crate contained the body of an executed spy to be buried the next morning. Phyllis, distressed at her missing lover, crept downstairs and into the tap room that night. For some reason, she wanted to see who was in the box. She chopped and tore at the nails on the coffin with a hatchet until she could remove the lid. What followed were horrifying shrieks and screams as she gazed at the body of her executed lover. Paranormal events began in 1877. The former tavern, now a residence. A woman home alone with her baby heard the sound of men carrying a wooden box through her front door, then the sound of wood being torn apart. When she ran to comfort her crying baby, she heard wailing and stayed upstairs, afraid until her husband came home. No break-in was recorded, and nothing was stolen. This was when the story began to circulate.
Welcome to the new Bernardsville Public Library. This was moved here in the year 2000, and it is said that it wasn't only the library itself that moved. In fact, there is a story about a ghost named Phyllis that followed the library from its original spot all the way here, and we're gonna go check it out.
Many paranormal events have also been recorded at the library. In 1950, a police officer and sergeant witnessed a woman in white inside after hours. The officer is concerned, but the sergeant explains that this is the ghost of the library, and this is fine. Many officers park across the street in hopes of seeing the ghost after that. In 1989, a 3-year-old boy told of a woman in white sitting by the fireplace, who no one else could see. There's also a woman in white in the reading room that can be seen after closing. Children's voices can be heard after hours, as well as a woman singing, but when people go to check, nothing is there. Doors open and close before opening hours, objects move in the staff kitchen, and there are areas in the library where people feel watched. The ghost is eventually referred to as Phyllis, who actually got her own library card. We wandered through the cemetery at the old Presbyterian church for a while, looking for Captain John Parker, who was buried there. I kept thinking the whole time that I wished I'd brought flowers. I felt so bad for all of the old gravestones. Some were so faded and covered in moss that I couldn't even read the names of the people buried there. I am a firm believer in ghosts and the afterlife, and I couldn't help wondering if the spirits were saddened at the state of their graves. I usually don't really like cemeteries as they remind me of zombie movies, but this cemetery felt so peaceful. Maybe because it was broad daylight, or there were children in a play yard nearby, or maybe the spirits were happy to be surrounded by life and community. When we found Captain John Parker's grave, we were both so excited. It was a great way to end our journey that day.
So we are in Basking Ridge now at the Presbyterian Church Cemetery, and we found it. It's the tombstone of Captain John Parker, the original owner of the Vealtown Tavern and later the Bernardsville Library. Thank you, Captain Parker. Thanks for today. I'm going to be telling your story. I hope you rest in peace. And you also have photos of the original Somerville Library.
Yes, I do. Yes.
And they were submitted to us by another viewer.
Another viewer. Yes.
Another
we
follower.
have original. The original library, which another we did not go in there yet, but it is supposedly very haunted.
Okay.
So the original library of Somerville isn't what's there today.
Correct. I don't know any ghost stories about where the library is currently in Borough Hall.
It's Arthur Cayman's house.
Okay.
I live on Cayman Place, so that's what I know about it.
Oh, see that?
But the original library is the Tapestry and Project Pub,
A restaurant and bar.
which apparently, supposedly, has been haunted for years and years and years, because I've heard stories
Right.
dating way back.
So have I.
Yeah.
So have I. And we were very lucky because another viewer and member of our Ghosts of Somerville page submitted some incredible historical photographs of the original Somerville Library. They are absolutely beautiful. We're going to share them with you right now.
Yep, perfect.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous photos. We thank you for those. The very first public library in the town of Somerville, New Jersey, outgrew its structure in approximately the year 1900. At that time, a new building was designed at 12 Maple Street with huge windows to let in light. It was expanded in 1924 until it was moved again to the corner of High and Bridge Streets until 1958. This building was called the Schwed Building and is currently housing Project Pub and Tapestry Bar and Restaurants. In 1958, it moved to its current location on Main Street at the west end of town in the building that houses Borough Hall.
So welcome back. I was actually just thinking that as beautiful as the cemetery was that we visited, I've actually never investigated one. In 20 plus years of being a paranormal investigator, I've never investigated a graveyard or a cemetery. So I was wondering if you know of one that you think is particularly creepy or haunted or just beautiful, full of history. Let us know and we'd be happy to visit it. I'd love to visit it. Especially if you think it's haunted. I'd love to check it out and have my first experience doing that. Please stay tuned for episode 10. We want to see you then, and let us know if there's any place you want us to go next, or a location that's particularly interesting to you, or something creepy that we need to know about here at Ghosts of Somerville TV. Thanks for watching.
Hey everyone, I'm on the steps of the Somerset County Courthouse in Somerville, New Jersey. We're looking for you to send us videos of you in front of your favorite haunted location or historical location. Tell us your name, tell us a little something about the place, and let everyone know that they're watching Ghosts of Somerville TV. You can send it to ghostsofsomerville@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.